Dan with Guardian Mold Prevent here. Wanted to take a look at a project located in Palos Hills, Illinois. This is a condo unit on the main level of a building. It's on a slab, so there is no one below them. And this unit took on some moisture. The carpet and the padding got saturated. The tack stripping that was holding it down to the floor was saturated. And so the association, in an attempt to solve the issues in this unit, came in. They pulled out those materials and discarded them, and they hoped that they had solved their problem. We were called in to take a look and to try to find if there was any mold issues in this unit. And as you can see, there's nothing that really jumps off the screen that screams that there's a major mold issue. Now you can see that there's definitely some discoloration on the door jambs. You can see that there's water staining that's developed on the baseboards, and all indicators that the carpet was wet for some period of time and was actually holding that moisture against the walls. What happens in instances like this is that the drywall acts as a sponge, and it will soak that moisture up off the floor and it will direct it up the wall. And when you've got thick baseboard, or any baseboard for that matter, up against the wet paper on the drywall, you end up trapping that moisture and it stays there for a long time and you can't get mold growth. Now, you can see underneath the kitchen sink here, we've got some discoloration from moisture that was obviously a drain that was leaking, or the water fitting coming through the door had some leaking going on. But again, really, when you start looking at the walls around it even, you see moisture staining, you see water discoloration like those tea color stains, but you don't see anything that jumps off as major mold. But I want to look now at what we found when we started pulling things apart. You can see here that we pulled the cabinet away from the wall. There's some dense growth behind the cabinet in the kitchen. And then as we come around into the hallway where we looked just moments ago, you can see that, as I said, the moisture must have wicked up that wall, and the paper on the drywall stayed wet between the trim and the wall, and obviously some mold growth has developed. Now I want to look at some after footage and kind of talk about process with you and what the actual project entailed. When we walk into a mold project like this, the first thing we do is we set up containment. We try to seal this unit off from the common areas of the building to keep from contaminating the air, in the spaces that everyone else in the building uses. Then we bring in negative air machines. These are machines that we engineer to turn the air over in the space through HEPA filtration, and also to create negative air pressure. So again, that air draw does not affect the air quality in the rest of the building or in the common areas. Once we've achieved negative air pressure and we've got containment set up, we remove all the porous materials that are affected with mold growth. So your drywall, your insulation, and in most cases the trim is heavily affected to the point where we discard it. And then as you can see, we expose the foundation walls, the foundation floor gets exposed usually, and then the framing members that make up the construction of the house. Once we've got those items exposed, we will treat them with a biocide, which is a liquid product that kills mold on contact, and then we physically scrub those surfaces down to get them clean. We then implement a HEPA vacuum, which is a vacuum that we use to keep the spores from becoming airborne while we're vacuuming, and the filter on the machine will pull those spores out of the air. Then we come in with an acrylic-based mold-resistant coating. It's a product that comes engineered specifically for the mold remediation industry. What we found over the years is that most handymen will come in and tell you that they can take care of a mold issue, but they don't have the tools or the products that are meant to be used in these instances. So most people end up with very poor air quality at the end of a project that's done by a handyman, and then also they end up with surfaces that are essentially coated what amounts to nothing more than paint primer. Now lastly, I just want to take a look at one of the pieces of equipment that will distinguish between a mold remediation firm that will address your air quality concerns and Joe Handyman that will come in and do demo for you. This machine has a pre-filter, it has a pleated filter in it, but then it also has a 12-inch HEPA filter that works towards removing all the mold spores from the air inside of this unit so that the air quality will be acceptable at the end of the project.